Hello and welcome everyone. Today we have Dr. Murat with us, and one of the most common questions our patients does to us, and is what is the main difference between the mini bypass and the RNA bypass?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Daniela. This is a most frequent question patients ask about this kind of surgeries. First of all, I need to explain something. The mini word doesn't mean the operation's effect is mini. Actually, the complication rate is mini. But regarding to the metabolic effects and also weight loss effects, mini gastric bypass is definitely more stronger operation than classical or 𝗰𝗿𝗴 gastric bypass. We have hundreds of studies that prove that. And the main difference in between these two operations, in classical or 𝗰𝗿𝗴 gastric bypass, we perform, we make a shrinkage of stomach, we create a gastric pouch. After that, we cut the small bowel after 150 centimeters. We reconnect one tip of the small bowel to stomach, and we reconnect the other tip of the small bowel to small bowel. It's a little bit complicated, and it creates a Y shape in between these connections. Why I prefer mini gastric bypass? One, mini gastric bypass contains only one anastomosis, one connection, instead of two in the classical one. We don't cut the small bowel. We just take a small bowel piece and we reconnect with the new stomach pouch. Because of this anastomosis or connection, half leak rate or leak complication is half. One of the reasons. The second one, the gastric pouch is very different in 𝗰𝗿𝗴 and mini gastric bypass. In 𝗰𝗿𝗴, we create a very small gastric pouch, which means this operation mainly a restrictive operation instead of malabsorptive. And in mini gastric bypass, we create a long, narrow tube, like sleeve gastrectomy. And this makes the difference in eating comfort. After mini gastric bypass, patients' eating comfort will be definitely better. Because mini gastric bypass is not only or mainly restrictive operation, it's mainly malabsorptive operation. And because of that, because of the pouch size, mini gastric bypass more convenient method to comply a Mediterranean diet. In classical or 𝗰𝗿𝗴 gastric bypass, patients struggling to consume solid foods, especially vegetables, meats and fish sometimes. In mini gastric bypass, eating comfort definitely higher. And the third reason, maybe the most important reason, because of the complex anatomy of 𝗰𝗿𝗴 gastric bypass, we have a problem. We have a problem of internal herniation. Because we cut the small bowel, we cut the small bowel vessels, and we create a new shape. Sometimes some patients have internal herniation problems. This means small bowel strangle around this Y shape. And in mini gastric bypass, it's very, very rare, because we are not cutting the mesentery, we are not cutting the small bowel. And this complication sometimes cause emergent operations after 𝗰𝗿𝗴 gastric bypass, and in the long term, sometimes it causes chronic abdominal pain, and the patients can't understand what is the reason. The reason is internal herniation. And according to the studies, internal herniation is very, very rare in the mini gastric bypass. So these are the main differences in between two gastric bypass type, and mini is not mini in effects, mini in complication rate.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Okay.